What's the worst thing you tell yourself?
Yeah, sometimes we don't realize, but we're constantly
Self-deprecating.
self-deprecating. So if you do that,
Sounds like something else.
sounds terrible. But if you think you're somebody that tends to do that often, you listen to this episode.
You're going to want to listen to this
You are
and
maybe share it with your friends and family members of people that you know that have this kind of nasty habit, really.
well, I think it's a habit, but I think it's something we all do, and I don't know why. And I think we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of why we're always putting ourselves down and using self-deprecation.
Yeah. So listen in, and let's
This week's episode of
Get Real with the English
Sisters.
Right. Here we are. Let's get
Happy as can
chatting. Let's get chatting and let's think about the truth about this. I mean, this self-deprecation kind of
It's like
it's awful, isn't it?
So disgusting.
It is disgusting, yeah. And the disgusting thing is, I think you're right about what you said in the pre-chat before we had this, before we started recording, is
What
that
do you mean in the kitchen?
in the kitchen, yeah, is that so many of us actually do this, and we kind of do it at an unconscious level.
I think a lot of us do it as internal dialogue, so it's not spat out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Internal, unconscious, yeah.
No, unconscious is different to internal.
Is it?
Unconscious is that you don't realise you're doing it.
Right, okay.
Other times you realise you're doing it, but you're doing it in your head, so you're not speaking
Right.
it out. So you're not looking in the mirror and say, I look horrible or blah, blah,
But
blah.
do you
Or
think
I'm
you realise you're doing it when it's internal voice, or is it just that chitter-chatter going on in the
Well,
background?
sometimes you might not realise you're doing it, and then that's not conscious.
Yeah.
So you might notice it's like a running dialogue that you don't even realise.
That's
It
what
just
I mean.
becomes part of your life.
It's a wallpaper, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a horrible thing. It's creepy.
Well, that's even more creepy. Well, I don't know if it's even more creepy.
Of course it's creepy if it's a wallpaper. It's like the wallpaper of your phone. It's there and you don't even know it's
You've
there.
chosen it.
Yeah, if you choose it, that's different. You're right. I made a bad thing. It's like the wallpaper in a room that you can't change. And it's just there all the time. You don't, and then you're so accustomed to it, you don't even realise it's there.
Oh, I used to hate that one in our bedroom.
I know. We used to have the 70s wallpaper. God, it was bright. It was like shiny, wasn't it?
It was shiny, a big flowery.
Oh, it was
leaves on
horrible.
it.
I mean, now it'd be really trendy.
Well, it is trending now,
Yeah,
but it
but
wasn't as shiny.
It wasn't our choice, was it?
No.
Mum just had to leave it there because we didn't have any money. Yeah, she couldn't change it.
What was there?
If it was for her, she would have had the white walls like
Yes.
customary in Spanish homes.
I know.
But anyway, yeah.
What I was saying is that if it's unconscious, so you're just like you don't even realise you're doing it. I think that's even more dangerous because once you become aware of it, you're saying horrible things to yourself all the time and putting yourself down. It's self-deprecating. It's easier to say, okay, I'm going to do something about it, but you
course
might
it
not
is.
find it that you do something about it because you might have grown up with it in your family or people
It's
around
deeply
you.
rooted. That's
Yeah,
why I
it's
said the wallpaper. It's everywhere, in every room, in the whole family environment. Everyone in your family, friends, the culture's kind of there. It's like the culture saying, "Oh God, you're an idiot. I'm such an idiot."
Yeah, I was listening to Louis Capaldi was saying that he has a lot of anxiety, and that he uses a lot of self-deprecation.
I love his
And,
music.
yeah,
it's
it's
so
great.
brilliant. He's
But
such an
you-
artist.
He's such an amazing artist, and yet he still calls himself things like, we won't say the
I've heard
expletives,
that.
but
Yeah,
he'll say that he's a lazy so and so.
yeah.
And he's this and he's that. And I was thinking, we were talking about it. How
Yeah.
can he be lazy with the amazing things that, not just because he makes fabulous music, but also because the effort he goes into actually going
About
ahead.
live performance. For
Yeah, with
goodness
live
sake.
performance, like pushing himself so much, even though he does get anxiety and he has panic attacks, but he still pushes through, and he like makes these videos like what we were saying, that we would never want to put ourselves
No.
in that position of,
No.
like, one of the ones we saw, he was in the pool, like,
Yeah.
with just very little on,
Yeah.
and like, his whole,
It takes
everything,
courage
it
to...
takes massive courage to
Yeah.
expose yourself to that kind of exposure.
Yeah.
And
I agree, yeah.
and put yourself through that.
Yeah. And then at the
And then at the same time, not
instead
appreciate
of not appreciating who you are,
who
or
you are, and how much you're not lazy, how much effort you're putting into
Exactly.
it. And so
and
much
he
effort.
also says he has Tourette's, so that's something else that you're coping with, and you're
Exactly.
dealing, you're managing it. I mean, come on, he could be having the kind of self-talk. Imagine if someone like him got up in the morning and said to himself constantly, I'm an artist.
I'm a role model.
I'm a role model. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm an artist.
But also a role model for other people with Tourette's.
Exactly.
For other people that are suffering from anxiety.
Yeah.
For other people that, I am inspiring.
I'm inspiring.
I'm amazing.
Imagine that, if that was like the wallpaper in his room, and it was just constantly, I'm amazing. I'm an artist. Let's see what I'm creative. Yeah. My music touches
smile.
people's
I make people
souls.
cry. I make people happy. I make people feel.
I am the giver of emotion. If he thought that to himself, I am a gift to this world. Thank goodness I'm in it. What a difference.
What a difference I make to the world.
Instead of saying to himself, I'm lazy, I'm a
this,
lazy, whatever.
I'm an effing... All these things that he says to himself are just... as hypnotherapists and coaches, when we hear that, it makes our heart bleed, because
it does. It really
we
does.
think, no,
and there
put a stop to this. Stop doing this. If you are doing this, stop right now. There is no there's no excuse for it.
No.
There's just no reason why people should be doing this to themselves. That it's not helpful. You might think it's like a masquerade to make you feel good. Sometimes you can use it as a coping mechanism, because it makes you feel...
Sometimes
like
it's in the form of humour,
yes,
isn't it?
a lot of the times it's in the humour.
Yeah, like 80% it's in the form of humour, and you'll hear people saying,
laugh.
I'm a so-and-so, and ha ha ha. And we think as therapists, we don't feel like laughing because we can see the behind the scenes, but many people just laugh at it and say, yeah. And it's just a way of hiding, really, isn't it? Hiding how great you really are, but not accepting it for yourself. So it's a shame, because you can't accept your own potential. No.
But maybe if you think about it, maybe that's what drives him even more to produce more and do more in another kind of way, because he feels his pain, so it makes him more creative. But in the end, it's
but if it's
helpful.
Giving you anxiety and panic attacks, then there's something, I think, your body
wrong.
It's okay if it's to a small degree, and you say, okay, I like to take the mickey out of myself. I like to not take myself seriously. That's different. To self-deprecation. If you don't take yourself seriously, I don't really take myself seriously either.
You're not a big head. It's what they used to say.
I don't know if it means a big head. It just means,
you're not letting your ego take over you.
That's almost impossible to do, because we all have ego, and it's really difficult not to let your ego. But it's just that, I don't know. Yeah, that's different. It's like you don't take if you say something and somebody else doesn't agree with it. It doesn't have. It's not because you've said it. It's like, you can be flexible. You don't have.
What do you mean if you don't say so? I don't understand.
Well, like if you have an opinion about something and somebody else has an opinion quite the opposite. If you take yourself very seriously, your opinion is the right one.
Okay.
And it's very difficult for anyone else to come along with another idea and to put their idea and try and show you another way. If you take yourself seriously, then what you believe in is the only truth. Most
So
of
if
the
you
time,
believe that you're lazy and you're this, you're taking yourself seriously then.
ironically, yes, that's a bit of a paradox, really, because you are taking yourself very seriously, even though you're making humor of it. You know, you're laughing about it. Have I got you confused?
I think so.
What I mean is, you've got myself confused now. I've got my mind entangled like spaghetti. Goodness me.
I don't understand what you're trying to say here. If your ego gets the better of you, like some people that I think there's people that use like humor, like they say, some people that are very overweight, they'll make fun of their weight, for instance.
Yes,
A lot
yes,
of comedians do that, and they think it's funny, haha, that other people are laughing, but in the end, we think as hypnotherapists and therapists, we think psychologically that's not doing them any good, because
No.
they're making themselves, they're making fun of themselves, but in the end they're self-deprecating. It's not helpful.
It's not. Ultimately, I agree with you.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. It's not helpful. That kind of self-deprecation is not helpful.
But also because yes, it might make other people laugh and it might make light of the situation, but why would you have to lie? Who cares what weight you are? You don't have to make a statement about your weight or make fun of your weight. It's fine to be whatever weight you are.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When we're concerning weight, is very common, isn't it?
That's one of the common ones.
That's one of the common ones. Yeah.
Another one is like what this artist was saying, that you make fun of how you react to the world. So that if you're lazy, for instance, if you don't like work, you're lazy, you're this, you're that. So that's another way of going down, but that's not helpful either, because if you really do think you're lazy, there's something that's keeping you lazy. Now, it might be that you haven't got the skills, or you haven't got the inspirations, or you haven't got the motivation, or you haven't got, but there's something lacking within you. So that's when you would need help. If you feel you can't get out of that, you would need help to make you feel better. Because if you're saying you're lazy, that means that you're not happy with being lazy. If you were happy with being lazy and it's mañana, and you'd be as happy as Larry going around and saying, la 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 la, this is great, life is
right,
great.
yeah.
I'm not, you wouldn't even define yourself as lazy. You would just be you.
Maybe you say you're lazy because other people tell you you're lazy.
But then you would say, other people tell me I'm lazy, but
the self-belief is not
no,
there.
I'm not lazy.
This is me. I'm
I'm
chilling.
Yeah,
I need to rest on the sofa for so long and have my resting.
People have told me I'm lazy.
I know.
I'm just thinking, I'd even forgotten that.
Yeah, because you have your siesta.
One of my good friends used to say that I was not just the friends. Well, I'm remembering it all. Yeah. It's all coming back.
Is it really?
Yes. Another mother at one of the schools said I was lazy.
The school mums.
Yeah, the mother. And I thought, how dare you? And then
why did she say you were lazy?
I can't even remember. I don't know. I think maybe because I said I didn't want to take my child somewhere because it was late and it was dark.
Oh,
and
extra
some extra thing that my child person, I was going to say, my child didn't even want to do that. And just because they wanted me to go, they were saying I was lazy.
Yes. So there was an ulterior motive there, thinking, why are you so lazy?
I knew fine well I wasn't lazy and I wasn't having any of it. But
no.
Someone else might have said, yeah, maybe I am lazy. They might have questioned it.
Well, you can still remember it.
Well, I remembered it because I thought I'm not lazy. And then when I went to this person's house, I mean, the poor lady, it was in a terrible state. So I thought, this is what you call lazy. I mean, all the dishes were still there from the day before. And my house wasn't like that.
No.
Not that I want to say it's not okay. It's okay if you've got dishes from the day before, if you're overwhelmed and that, but then don't go around judging other people and saying that they're lazy.
Yeah.
That was the point of that story.
That was
that right.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, so but you didn't take that on as a truth.
I just thought it was ridiculous.
But perhaps what I'm saying is that perhaps it's because the way we were brought up, with...
Well, Mum used to tell us we were lazy. Do you want to say the way we were brought up?
Did she?
Well, yeah, she would say like she wouldn't let us watch TV on Saturday morning because she said it was lazy people did that.
But that was kind of like from her culture, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I
the
don't
television.
care where it's from, but she used to tell us.
She used to tell us lazy people would watch the television.
No, but she would tell us we were lazy if we wanted to watch it.
I mean, it's like we grew up in two different childhood homes here.
Well, maybe I was the older one.
Yeah, maybe she would tell you more.
Yeah.
No, I remember we weren't allowed to watch cartoons in the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas you're the English children.
They were the lazy ones.
They were, is that right? They were the lazy. But why, so Mama said we were lazy, okay. Why don't we believe that? What happens to somebody's mind?
Because we thought that she was wrong. She was wrong, and it wasn't lazy to do that, and we should be able to watch television.
Is it because we had enough validation from other people? So other of the children at school would watch TV.
Yeah,
so we would say, no, hang on a minute, maybe
normal.
It's Mum.
Yeah, maybe Mum's the one that's not right.
Yeah, maybe she's wrong in this case. Maybe it's okay to watch TV on a Saturday morning.
And chill.
And chill because you go to school all week.
And you can't work all the time.
Yeah, so maybe we realise that because other people around us were doing it. But in the case when it's your mum telling you and then everyone around you is going off to work and not watching, or, not watching television, then maybe that's when the belief is installed in you.
Probably.
When you have more of a social, there's more people.
Social pressure.
There's more pressure. There's more people telling you that it's odd to do what you're doing, and so then you form that belief. But what I'm saying is that we know now that beliefs you can nudge them out of your system. It's not easy. It's not easy to get rid of an ingrown belief because it's like a weed that has very, very deep roots. Or even worse, if it's like the wallpaper, then you really have to start redecorating and doing massive job. But it can be done.
Yeah,
but you need the umph to do it.
Knocked down and rebuilt.
Yes, exactly. So you need to, even without rebuilding the entire house, as if we're going to use the metaphor that the house is the human and the wallpaper is like the human mind, for example, we can redecorate and repaint the mind once you become aware of it, like what you said right at the very beginning. I think if you're aware of it, then you can change it. You can start saying, hey, that resonates. That reminds me of what I do,
Yeah, and also
I'm
I think
constantly
if
putting
you
myself
are
down.
constantly putting yourself down, you are using a lot of self-deprecation. You can also ask yourself the question, do I really want the people around me to like follow my example and do the same thing? If I saw my friend doing that, or my loved ones, would I be happy with that? Or would I think, no, hey, stop doing that, don't do that?
Yeah, it's hard to be around someone in a couple, for example, when one of the people is always putting themselves down. That can also be very challenging for the relationship if you have, one person and that constantly wants
validation. You feel as if they want validation, don't you?
When they're constantly saying, oh God, I'm such an idiot. I arrived late. I did this wrong. Or this didn't work out what I wanted. And oh, I'm fat, I'm whatever. It's also really challenging for the person that wants to love you.
Yeah, because they don't see you in that way.
No, they don't. No, they can't see that wallpaper.
You're constantly like forcing your own beliefs on that other person.
Yeah.
They see you in a different way to that. They don't see you like that. They see you in a way that they love you. So when you're constantly forcing like these, in the end, it'll probably go into their heads. It won't. It's not helpful for your relationship either.
No, it's not.
Because in the end, it's like what we always used to say. If you're with your partner and I remember when they first started talking about like cellulite, they didn't even used to mention it before. Do you remember? It was so shocking to us. And
it's just to sell the creams, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was just to sell the creams.
Yeah.
And then and then we would see like some of our friends like when they're on the beach.
Because what is cellulite for people who
It's
don't
just-
even know what it is? What is it?
I don't even know what it
Define
is because I've never actually gone to look at it, but I think it's like fat cells that have, like, you can actually see them like little dimples in your skin or something. But I
Dimples
don't
is a
even want to
lovely way
say
of
it because
saying it,
you're
yeah.
going to be looking for them if you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
So
it's
just forget it. It's just
basically
it's
nothing.
practically nothing.
It's part of
But
the human
anyway,
body.
You would see people when they started advertising it, how they would be affected by it, and you would see them like going up to their partners and squeezing their skin and saying, look at this, it's all yucky or whatever. I mean, I'm saying it in a very childish, young, nice way, but they would, they would use words, and I just used to think,
why are you doing that? Yeah.
Partner is looking at you probably thinking how you
How
look
gorgeous you are,
or hot
or whatever,
or
yeah.
nothing, but it's my sweet lovely wife or husband,
yeah.
and you are going to point out the defects in you to them.
Yeah.
Why? If you were in a
Why?
meeting, would you point out all the things that you don't like about yourself or your work or that? Would you point them out? No,
you wouldn't.
So don't do it in your relationships either.
No, that's really valid. That is. Yeah, I
Who
would.
would want to point out all the worst things, all their worst things, if they were in a work situation? Say nobody. It's the way, like what we say. If you would, do you treat your partner how you would at work? To your colleagues?
No, I don't know.
Usually with great respect you treat your colleagues, unless you really hate where you're working, you tell them to F off, but then you probably lose your job.
You would, yeah. Well, if it's just a colleague you might not, but you wouldn't be seen as having good relationships in your environment, your work environment. It's essential to get along with a team. So if you're somebody that does say F off, I mean, come on.
You're
not going to thrive in the work environment if you're like that.
Well, you're not going to thrive in your relationship either.
The truth is, you don't really thrive in your life because you're going to have
because you've got this self-deprecating side. Yes, you will thrive in some aspects, like this amazing artist.
Yes.
But you will suffer from anxiety and from pain.
A lot of pain in there.
That you really, I mean, if you think about it, you're bringing it onto yourself. I know that's the harsh truth of it, but you're the one that's doing it.
You are.
So it's like being imprisoned in your own prison.
Yeah.
It's like saying, let's just break free. Let's get the key and break out of this prison.
Let's break out. Let's peel that wallpaper off once and for all. And it's
decorating.
It's so satisfactory. Do you remember there was a little hole in our wallpaper when I was little? I would always try and peel it off, and you could really imagine getting that spatula going. And once you get one off, then there's a lot of satisfaction as well. So it is hard to do, but I think if you catch yourself, and you catch yourself, from the moment you get up to the moment you go and you close your eyes at night, you can become more and more and more aware of the stuff you say to yourself.
And say to others, because you're saying it to other people and they'll laugh.
You tend to be,
Yeah, they'll laugh, and then they might say it to you about themselves, because Louis Capaldi was saying it was part of their culture that they all have a go at each other, a bit of banter, a go. They'll have everyone puts everyone down.
Look, it's okay if it's in a big laugh, like saying you're an idiot. But not too much.
Let's not get personal about it.
No, let's not get personal. Yeah, let's leave it amongst the funny things.
Because even saying things like, I remember we had a client once that even things like saying that, oh, you're clumsy so and so, and things like that. We had a client
that was affecting.
It affected them because
so much. I remember that client.
They have back history when maybe other people have told them about it, and it just doesn't make them feel good because they really believe it, where other people might just say, oh, for instance, if I trip over, it's not a big deal. I just think, oh, I'm so agile, I managed to.
You actually do say that. You're incredible.
I managed to catch
Whenever
yourself.
You're about to trip over, she, or even if she falls, she always says, God, she's hilarious, Violetta, because she'll say, oh, I'm so lucky I was agile enough
not to
hurt myself. Oh, and she gives us out, oh, she's so proud of it, and I don't really, I mean, I think you're like the top of self-esteem. I don't know if I actually do that. what I'm actually saying to myself. I know I don't self-deprecate, that's for
No.
sure, but I'm not quite as, you're hilarious. Yes. No, if I trip, I might say, phew, I was lucky or something. Oh, thank God I didn't hurt myself. But I don't have the back thing. Oh, I'm so agile. I did not hurt myself.
Sometimes I'm amazed how I manage to catch myself. And sometimes I do hurt myself, but I think it could have been a lot worse.
Yes.
So it's not as if I never hurt myself.
But you see,
I've had detached retinas from it, like I've said other times. It's not like, but it's like, oh, I'm happy I didn't break. It wasn't even worse.
Yeah, I mean, your eyes practically fell out of detached retinas. It's also the way you see it.
But it could be worse, couldn't it?
Yes.
It's always the less of the less, which is the reframe is what really gets us through life, I think. Reframing.
For us, in our case, it is. And it's not just looking at things from a positive side, which is very helpful, but it's just like seeing them from in a different way, isn't it? Because it's like, yes, you are being positive when you say, oh, I'm agile.
Yeah, but it's like saying
seeing it in a different. It's like retaking it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You say, oh, I'm lucky because I'm agile.
Yeah.
I nearly fell down. Oh, I did hurt myself, but it could have been worse. And
it's very helpful.
It's extremely helpful to think like that.
I think it does boost your self-confidence. It makes you feel more confident.
Well, if you say, oh, I'm so agile. That definitely boosts your self-confidence, because I think in the end,
and then like if it like the other day I was watching a video where there was this amazing gymnast and she was doing all sorts of twirls and things and flips and things, and you think that's real agility.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm not really.
You're agile for somebody that's not a professional.
Exactly. No, but even for other people, I don't even do yoga or anything. It's not that I'm an expert. It's just that I have the belief that, luckily, I managed to catch myself, but maybe also I managed to catch myself because I have that belief, and my unconscious mind protects me.
Yes, because
the unconscious mind doesn't think, it'll just do. So it quickly, when you're in the moment, it'll pick you up and it'll stop.
If you're constantly you're carrying something delicate and you think, I'm going to drop this, I'm going to drop it. 9 times out of 10 you drop it. Yeah. Where if you're confident and you say, no, this is fine, it's like what they used to say.
Thinking about the football coaches as well, how in coaching, if you coach the team, say if we were coaching a football team.
Yes, exactly.
How many footballers actually do, self-deprecate and put themselves down?
Yeah,
a lot of them.
Yeah,
I've heard what they say to themselves.
Is that why your mind has come to that?
Yeah. And so if when you're doing any sport, if you put yourself down,
you won't win.
You won't
win. You won't be able to win. In order to win, in order to be successful, you have to see yourself at the end goal, no matter what it is. Yeah. You have to see yourself running or playing and making a difference. Your mind, if you see it and then you go and do it.
You believe it.
But if you see yourself falling down, it's like before public speaking as well. You see yourself making a total mess of it. It's really hard to get up on that stage and do it properly. But if you see yourself speaking confidently, see people laughing at you, not at you, sorry, laughing with you.
Sorry.
No, laughing.
And I shouldn't have laughed at that.
Because you're laughing at me.
Because it is funny.
It's funny, yeah. No, you see people laughing with you, which is what I've always done before public speaking. I envisionise it in a nice way, yeah. Then it's going to go well. But if you see it in a different way, it's like with the footballers. Can you imagine what a disaster that is? I'm going in for a game and I'm seeing myself losing.
Well, yeah, obviously it depends on the manager and the coaches and that. But I think, mindset coaching has come into these kind of environments, and it's much needed.
And it's working,
but
isn't it?
Yeah, it works, and you need it as well in your everyday life. That's why at the beginning of the podcast we said, listen to this podcast episode, because it will change your life if you stop right now. Stop it. Yeah.
The minute you get off this podcast, take your earpods out and start going on and become more aware of what's going on.
And change it around. So if you say, I'm so and so, no, that's not true. do I believe that's really true? If you do believe it's really true, then you need help. You need to go to someone and say, hey, look, this is my belief. How do I get rid of it? And you will get help to get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, it is difficult to eradicate beliefs, but it's possible to do it because
You just
they're
need
actually
the tools. It's
they're
like
called limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
and limiting beliefs, because they limit your life, can be gotten rid of. We've done it on our own selves. We had so many limiting beliefs before we started studying psychotherapy and learning about it that we've removed them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to remove weeds, you need the right tools. Some of them you can pull out just really easily, but other times, like
No.
what you said, they're
deep.
They're
They're
deep
deep.
rooted, and you need a little, I can't remember what they call now.
A little shovel or something, yeah.
You need a gardening tool.
You need a tool, so you can have the right tools.
A fork, a shovel.
Yeah, in order to remove these kind of beliefs from your mind. But really the best thing in order to remove them is just to become aware that you've
And
got
stop
them in the
doing
first
them.
place. No, the awareness is like, wow, it's like you're shining a light on them. And you can suddenly see them, because it is
Yeah,
like...
but look at the shining the light. I mean, look at that thing that you've got in your house. Everyone, I bet you, all of you know, you've got a bit of mold or something. And how long have you left it? The thing is about shining a light on things. A light can be on the broken bit of wallpaper or the mold or the thing that
But
you
you
have to
become
fix.
used to it.
You just get used to it,
I
and your
know.
mind deletes it.
That's why I said it's like the wallpaper, isn't it? Because you don't notice it anymore. You might hate it at first, and then it just becomes normal. The cracks in the wall, the
So
horrible
that's what you have to
wallpaper,
be
yeah.
aware of, not to let it be your new normal.
But I think if you do shine a light on it, and you become the proper kind of light, the light of change on it, not just a normal light, not turning the light on and going off. You're shining the light of change on it, because you realise that there's something better out there, something better for you. There is a different life. It's your life now, but your life can
Be without
like-
anxiety.
Yeah, and it really can. It's not like you have to live like this until you die.
No.
This is why our heart
is why it's
bleeds.
so amazing.
Yes, and also because it is possible to change, and it's not even that hard. You just really have to get that light and shine on it, and say, yes, I want to change. I want this isn't. I don't always. Doesn't have to be my normal life. Just to wake up filled with anxiety, think I'm an idiot all the time, and even when I do great stuff, just shrug it off. Yeah,
It could have been better.
could have been better. Yeah, I did that video, I did that song, like what you were saying about Lewis Capaldi, such a brilliant artist. And yeah, I mean, and even if you're not a brilliant artist, no matter who you are, just a regular person with a job that you're looking after yourself, or without a job and you're trying to get a job, it doesn't matter. You deserve it. You really deserve it, and you can change. You gotta believe that.
You've got to believe in yourself,
Because it's
so
true.
that others believe in you, and we believe in you, and we know you can change.
We know it's
And
possible.
we know it's possible for anyone to change and everyone to stop self-deprecating, and it will be an amazing thing if we stop hating on ourselves.
And when you see your friends and family saying things to you you
no.
can say no. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Can you stop it, please? Even if it's your best friend, because sometimes you have best friends that
it'll
are
be difficult for them to stop, and they
It will
won't
be
want
difficult. Be empathetic. Understand that they've treated you like that, and they've had that kind of little banter, like what you were saying, with you for a really long time. So for you to suddenly say, "Hey, can you stop saying that, please?" They're not gonna. They might say, "Hey, what's got into you today?"
But you say, I didn't realise, but it actually hurts my feelings. I didn't realise it was
And then
hurting
they
my
might
feelings,
laugh at
but
you
it
and
hurts my
say-
feelings, and it's lowering my self-esteem. It's about finding the vocabulary, and it's not healthy for my mental
And then,
health.
especially if you're a man, they might laugh at you and say, "Oh, I'm hurting your feelings." But then you can just pause for a moment and just say, yes, you really are. And this has happened to other people before, especially men, when they get really real with their friends and their mates, then it allows the other person to open up too.
Yeah.
So it does take a lot of courage to be vulnerable that way. But vulnerability in the end is what helps you change. And
sometimes you have to, if your friends won't accept you, sometimes you have to look for new friends as well.
sometimes you do. If they really won't and they keep on at it, and you realise
It's you've grown out of that situation.
it's not helpful to you to have somebody to constantly tell you, see like that bad side, not bad, but the side that's not helpful to you, because in some way it's self-deprecating.
And sometimes your friends will be doing it as well, because there's a part of them that makes them feel more confident when they do it.
When they do it to you.
When they do it to you,
Yeah.
because they'll think, oh yeah, I'm all sort of,
Yeah, I'm not the...
I'm all laddish or whatever.
Yeah, it makes them feel more in control about some other issue
That they have. And so sometimes it is necessary. Not to,
I actually
you
had
don't
a friend
have,
that
you
would
don't
do that
have
to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to actually, it
have
was
to tell her.
constantly saying, oh God, you're lucky I'm around. You make me laugh. You're such a clumsy one. You never know anything. And oh my God, she would tease me about like the summing and the maths, because I'm dyslexic and I couldn't do it. And oh my God, you can't even do that. But in the end, once I remember, I actually had to have a fight with her and say, well, fight. I had to stick to my ground and say, I'm not enjoying this. You've got to stop it. And it was really hard for her to stop it, really, really hard, because she'd formed a belief about who I was, and she had to like protect me. But it wasn't like that. I was just the way I was. I was I was living a different reality to hers, even though we were in the same job, we were doing the same identical job. My reality was completely different to hers. I would see things she couldn't see, and she could see things I couldn't see, but that didn't make it
one better than the other.
I was picking up on perhaps other things going on, and she was in. So it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult. In the end, I had to, say, see less of her, really.
Yeah.
Because
sometimes you do have to make that, and it
still
can be a
love her,
difficult.
but
It can be a difficult choice.
Yeah.
But you don't have to cut that. Sometimes you do need to cut the person off
for a while. Yes.
For a while at least, or till you manage to get rid of those beliefs yourself.
Get stronger
and
inside.
Get stronger.
Yeah.
But other times you can just hang out a bit less.
Yeah. You can. It can be like.
It can be more gentle.
More
It can be a more gentle approach. But sometimes you do need to.
You do need.
And sometimes circumstances can just kind of take you away from each other, and then you can maybe think, well, maybe that was quite a good thing in the end.
Yeah. And it also, what happens is that when you do stop this self-deprecation, or do it to a lesser extent, because
I think it's practically impossible, because of the society we've been brought up. It's practically impossible to eradicate completely.
Yeah.
But if you become aware of it, then you stop doing it, and then you're kind to yourself, and you think, how would another person see me? Through a kind person, not a mean person. Or one that's used to self-deprecating themselves and others, not that kind of person. How would they see me? And then you'll get stronger and stronger day by day, and your emotional strength will increase, and your panic attacks will decrease and disappear. And you'll feel a hell of a lot better.
You will, yeah, you really will. You're gonna have that lovely background, like what we were saying. You can be the one to choose your wallpaper, like on the phone.
You might not even want wallpaper. You might want paint.
Exactly.
You choose what you want.
You choose what you want, and
and you be confident about it.
Yes, be confident, and that's it. That's it. I think we've exhausted this, really, because...
So if you find this episode helpful and you would like to share it with your friends, we'd be really appreciative. And please do come and watch us on YouTube too. And please do subscribe and leave a comment, because it really does help our channel grow. And likewise, if you share our social media posts as well, if you come and say hi on Instagram, it'll help us grow, and it'll help us increase
our self-esteem.
Our confidence.
It helps us.
It helps us help you more.
Yeah, and it helps us stay motivated as well, because I love it when I see the comments, and when people say, hey, I listened to your podcast, you think, oh, great, you know.
Because it's nice to know that you're making a difference.
It's beautiful to know that you're making a difference, and it's such an honor to be able to help any of you.
Yeah.
Because we have so much love to give you, and this is our way of giving it to you. So you know, we really do hope you can feel it, even though it's just through our words and our videos. We are sending it to you. We really do believe in this. We're doing it for, this is our core value belief, that we want to give you this love and we want to help you. So if we can with our little chats, you know, it's jolly good. Jolly good indeed. Have a lovely day.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Lots of love and smiles from the
English sisters.
Bye-bye.
Bye.